Still figuring out this lighting, but at least I have a bookshelf. Hey guys, it's Lainey, and today I'm doing my first book review in front of my bookshelf. Today we are reviewing Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey. Okay, so what this book is about, it is about this girl named Cassie. These follow the months after the first alien invasion of Earth. The fifth wave means there were 4 waves before that is used to wipe out the human. First wave was the electromagnetic explosion, so you can't communicate with anybody. Second wave was, what the fuck was the second wave? The second wave was the tsunamis. The third wave was pestilence, so the sicknesses wipes everybody out. And the fourth wave is silence. Is that right? I can't remember. Something like that. People are fearing the fifth wave, hoping there is no fifth wave. This story is told in mainly 2 different perspectives. So there's Cassie, then we follow, God, I can't really say. We get Cassie's perspective the majority of the book. We also get a brief few pages of 2 other people, and you get another main boy. I really can't say his name yet, because I feel like that's spoilery, if that's possible already. I rated this book a 4 out of 5 on Goodreads. I was trying to decide this book between a 3 and a 4, believe it or not. To be honest, I was not into this book until about halfway through, and that's when the plot picked up, that's when the characters picked up, that's when everything picked up, and I couldn't stop reading it. I would have picked it up even if it wasn't such a talked about book on BookTube, because I love dystopian science fiction novels, I think, because I keep reading them. So there must be something about that I like. I wasn't the biggest fan of the different perspectives, which sounds weird because I really liked how Legend and Prodigy were set up between June and Days, but for some reason this didn't completely work for me. Maybe it's because the summary clearly predicts the Cassie perspective that I was thrown off when another character was introduced and we were in his head for another 70 pages. So I didn't like that. I didn't like how they lied. Revolution 19 by Greg Rassenblum also did that in the summary, where it seemed like it was just going to be one character's perspective, and then it seemed to be multiple. I just wish that they would note that in the summary. If there's going to be more than one character's story, both their stories should be included in the summary. Just my opinion though, who knows. I feel like the only reason why I propelled myself to the second novel is because these characters are amazing. I love the characters more than I liked the storyline. But don't get me wrong, I love this book. It's just these characters you get so attached to. I love Cassie. She's kick-ass heroine, perfect for this novel. I loved being in her head. She was fresh. Her inner monologue, her everything. It was perfect. I love that about her. So I'll leave you with that right now, and discuss is going to be next, so you better go read this book, come back, and we'll discuss it. So, this book, where to start? I am Team Evan, for sure. You guys, he's perfect. I love him. I loved him. I loved him. It's like all those feelings that I had for PETA when I read The Hunger Games for the first time. That is what I feel. Yep. Evan Walker, you are my new PETA. Except you can't replace PETA, but you're damn close. Ben Parrish, I like Ben, don't get me wrong. I didn't like how I was pulled from Cassie's perspective out of nowhere and then slammed into Ben's when I wasn't expecting it. I hated Sammy's perspective. I did not need to know that, and I wanted to skip it for the first time. I wanted to skip a section in the book, but I thought it might be important. Ends up, his part was not important to me. I could have skipped it. I guess we're talking about characters. Ringer, I liked Ringer up until she freaked out in that warehouse when the team got dropped into that area after graduation. She reminded me of Violet from Feed. Violet from Feed, she has that freak out as well, where she's like, You gotta look deeper. You gotta look deeper than everything of what you're being told. Everything's a lie. Everything's a lie. She reminded me of Violet, and I hated her from there. I don't like Ringer anymore because she reminds me of Violet. However, that whole group, the soldier group, Ben/Zombie, Pound Cake, Teacup, Flintstone even, I liked them. They had a very great dynamic together. I loved how Ben did not remember Cassie. Yes, that, you know, it makes just like so much more sense too, that he's just like the popular jock and he didn't really pay attention to her, and how he didn't remember the babies just made me think, girl, you belong with Evan. That is a sign. You belong with Evan. The last 100 pages when Cassie and Ben break back into Camp Haven separately, but are both there for the same reason. My heart was pounding. I didn't know what was gonna, I was so nervous. I knew they were gonna survive, but I didn't know how or at what cost, and it was perfect. The scenes of Evan and Cassie in his cabin house thing were my favorite parts of the book. I wanted more of them, and Rick Yancey kept breaking that up, and I hated that. I'm just like, let me read this straight through. Please, let me read it. I need to read it. Here's another thing I wasn't quite a fan of. I felt like the beginning of Cassie's perspective in the beginning of the novel was very info dumpy. People that don't know that, it's where you drop all this information at the reader of what's happening in this world that we're not familiar of. I felt like there was a lot of info dumping in the beginning of this novel, and I wasn't fully a fan of that. I did not like the flashbacks, and I think that's why this book threw me off in the very beginning, because they kept pulling me from underneath the car when Cassie was shot by the silencer, and I was just like, let my brain settle in one area, please. Evan better be alive in this next book. Oh, I'll be so upset if he died. That ending part where the Camp Haven was getting blown up and the Humvee just comes out of nowhere and picks them up. Oh, that was so much adrenaline, and I just love those action sequences. I love them. And Evan, you better be alive or else I'm going to be really pissed. Overall, I did enjoy this. It's just those few things in the beginning that threw me for a loop where I did not like it necessarily. Man, I hope I got everything that I wanted to talk about. If you can't tell, I definitely winged this review. After I finished this book, it was like this. I want to punch somebody in the face. That's how this book made me feel. Take that as you will. I will be reading the second book because these characters, I loved the characters. I feel so invested in Cassie, Evan, Ben, the team, not so much Sammy, but whatever. Well, hopefully you enjoyed my review. I will see you guys later. Yeah. Bye.